Ассалому алайкум, ҳозирони гиромӣ, муҳтарам устодон, меҳмонони азиз, ҳамаи шуморо дар конференсияи байналмилалӣ бахшида ба ҳамкории стратегии Иттиҳоди Аврупо бо Осиёи Марказӣ, муаммоҳо ва имкониятҳо аз номи донишкадаи иқтисод ва савдои Донишгоҳи давлатии тиҷорати Тоҷикистон хайрамақдам мегӯем. Ташаккури зиёд барои имрӯз ҳамроҳи мо ҳастед. Забони кории конференс бо забони англисӣ идома медиҳад ва бо иҷозати шумо ман конференсро бо забони англисӣ идома медиҳам. Dear participants, dear colleagues, dear experts, I welcome all of you to international conference dedicated to European Union and Central Asia partnership, challenges and opportunities, which is organized in the framework of Jean Monnet Module, implementing in the Institute of Economic and Trade, and co-hosted with the National Erasmus Office in Tajikistan. Today, we decided to bring up this discussion, as we are seeing that in today recent developments, the European Union and Central Asian relationship is reaching a new level, a more strategic level. We see a lot of different formats, and as our project, our Jean Monnet project is about the European Union integration as a case to learn for Central Asia towards more integration. So we decided to bring this topic today to discuss. As we know about the recent developments in the Central Asia, because of high efforts of President of the Tajikistan, the leader of a nation, Emomali Rahmon, together with our partners with the Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, we have signed the Hujan Declaration, which solved all the border conflicts in the Central Asian region. And because of this, we passed this conflict, the border conflict situation, which will this Hujan Declaration bring peace and stability in the region. And after a while, we are seeing that the region will become more interesting to other partners, and of course, it will go towards more integrated Central Asia. So on behalf of the university, on behalf of our director, Jalilzada Abdurrashid, I want to thank all of you to be a part of this conference. And today we have a welcome speech. We have representatives of the EU delegation in Tajikistan. We have the EU, the manager of education and the manager of EU education in Tajikistan, Ms. Diana Dimova, whom I would like to give a floor to have a welcome speech from the EU delegation in Tajikistan. Please, Ms. Dimova.
Good morning and good afternoon, dear colleagues, students, friends, and representatives of the universities. I'm very much pleased indeed today to be with you and to have the opportunity to open the Jean Monnet Conference on the strategic partnership between the Central Asia and the European Union, challenges and opportunities. Organized under the Jean Monnet program. This event definitely embodies the spirit and mission of Jean Monnet himself to foster academic dialogue, to promote critical thinking and support collaborative learning on the European Union and its global role. Today's topic could not be more timely indeed and important. Central Asia and the European Union are bound not only by geography and history, but increasingly also by their shared inspiration, sustainable development, regional stability, economic cooperation, and mutual respect. Since the early years of 1990s, the EU has been actively engaged in the Central Asia Over the past 5 years, the engagement has deepened significantly, particularly with the adoption of the EU Central Asia's strategy in 2019. This strategy supports the region's own ambitions for modernization, closer regional cooperation, and strong integration into the global economy. What has begun initially as a relationship and partnership between the EU and Central Asia focused primarily on development assistance and stability has grown up over the last years into a broad and dynamic partnership encompassing already other areas as trade, security, clean energy, climate resilience, digital and physical connectivity, education, and the promotion of human rights and the rule of law. Those are priorities that touch the daily lives of people across both regions. Major milestone, as we all know, was reached just last 2 months ago with the first ever EU Central Asia High-Level Summit, which was held in Samarkand in April 2025. This summit reaffirmed once again the strength of the partnership between EU and Central Asia and provided a clear roadmap for the futures. Leaders from both sides have identified strategic areas of cooperation as transport, raw materials, clean energy, digital connectivity. Each of them of these areas are essential for the sustainable and resilient growth. Together, the EU and Central Asia have made tangible progress already over the years through joint efforts in green energy, transitions, vocational education and training reforms, border management, digital infrastructure, and inclusive governance. And those efforts are definitely improving lives and creating opportunities in the region. At the same time, we all know that we indeed face significant and shared challenges as climate change, water scarcity, regional security, economic diversification, and migration. All of them are demand definitely a coordinated responses and a long-term vision between the both sides. And indeed, all these issues, and that's why your conference today matters. It provides a platform to deepen the dialogue, to strengthen academic institutional networks, and to discuss opportunities for an improved cooperation and partnership between EU and Central Asia. I'm very much sure that today's conference will provide this platform, and a lot of exchange of ideas will come. So I am looking forward to hear the exchanges, and I wish to everyone a successful event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Diana Dimova. It's indeed today European Union is one of the key partners for the development, which is putting a lot of efforts and contribution towards the development of the Central Asia. And we see a lot of the huge initiatives which are implementing in the across the Central Asia. And we see a lot of those new formats, Central Asia plus EU, and we are seeing a Central Asia plus other separate European countries, as we see recently Central Asia plus Italy, and we believe that there will be more focus and interest into our region. Thank you so much for this welcome address once again. Next, I would like to give a floor to the National Erasmus Coordinator of Tajikistan, Professor Mohboudou Nakadzadeh. Malima, please, the floor is yours.
Yes. Did you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Distinguished speakers and guests, dear colleagues and partners, it's a great pleasure and honor today to be here and welcome all of you to today's important internal roundtable organized under the European integration case, Central Asia, Jean Monnet Module project in close collaboration between National Erasmus Plus Office in Tajikistan and the Institute of Economy and Trade of the Tajik State University of Commerce. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Minister of Education and Science for gathering all universities here today, to Mrs. Diana Dimova, representative of the EU delegation in Tajikistan, for her presence, for her continued support, and to all our distinguished speakers for generously sharing their time and expertise with us, with representative of our universities, and of course to the Institute of Economy and Trade of the Tajik State University of Commerce for their invaluable assistance in effectively organized today's event. This gathering, I think it's more than academic event. It symbolized how far we have come in strengthening the Tajikistan's Central Asia engagement in European studies and international cooperation. As the first Jean Monnet Module project in Tajikistan, in European integration case, Central Asia marks a historical step because through it we are opening doors for our students, for our researchers and institutions to participate in global dialogue on European integration, governance, and regional collaboration. Today's topic, strategic partnership between European Union and Central Asia, challenges and opportunities, is especially timely following the EU Central Asia Summit held in this April in Samarkand. We clearly see how crucial it's for our academic community to understand and engage with the EU's growing presence and strategic vision for our region, especially for Tajikistan. Moreover, the key topics that emerge from the EU Central Asia Summit, like transport connectivity, digital transformation, collaboration on critical raw materials, water management, and energy transition, are not only European priorities. And we are glad that even Tajikistan is a small country, but all these priorities are directly aligned with Tajikistan national development goals. And of course, in Erasmus Plus, also all these priorities are aligned with the global gateway. So by engaging in Erasmus Plus and Jean Monnet actions, we're helping to shape a more sustainable, connected, and of course resilient future for our country, for the academic community in our country. So I would like to take this opportunity to especially encourage the representative of all Tajik universities, like coordinator in Erasmus Plus in Tajikistan, to make full use of this unique occasion. Today we are honored by the presence of brilliant experts from the most developed countries and individuals with exceptional academic and policy experiences. Among them, I reviewed all of them, and I found that the renowned researchers, authors of leading international publications, and even the editor-in-chief of the International Scientific Journal Economic Review, a distinguished scholar who leads numerous international research projects, which is we need in our universities as our second university mission. Dear colleagues, this is an extraordinary moment to build connection, share contacts, and exchange ideas I encourage all of you to network actively and let us work together to increase the number of Jean Monnet initiatives in Tajikistan and fully integrate our universities into the European academic space. As a national Erasmus Plus coordinator, I once again extend my heartfelt invitation to all universities across Tajikistan become more involved, explore new opportunities, and use Erasmus Plus as a platform for innovation and partnership. The Erasmus Plus program is here to support you for growth and ambitions. And let us today not only as a moment for listening, but as a launchpad for new opportunities, new cooperation, deeper collaboration, and lasting academic partnership. Thank you once again for your participation and commitment. And Said Qasim, I would like in Tajik some for universities say something. السلام علیکم بار دیگر همکاران حاضرین و دوستان گرامی، میخواستم بار دیگر تشکر خود را به هر یک شما جهت اشتراک، جهت در اینجا حضور داشتنتان در چاره‌بینی که به نهایت مهم است minnatdori خود را بیان نمایم و همین رو خاطر رسان کنم که یکی از هدف‌های امروزه ما این فراهم آوردن شرایط مساعد برای اشتراک شما در چنین برنامه ژان مونه می باشد که چگونه که به شما معلوم است ما سال جاری، سال گذشته، سال جاری هم در بسیار دانشگاه‌های کشور وقتی که ما روزهای اطلاعاتانی میگذرانیم و ما با همه شما گفته گذاشتیم چند بار درباره برنامه ژان مونه مدول که امروز در تاجیکستان فقط در یک دانشگاه است، فقط سید قاسم، همون دو برنامه که امروز در ژان مونه هست فقط سید قاسم کاربری کرده ایستاده است و برای همین هم امروز یک قدم تاریخی است برای اینکه این یکمین برنامه ژان مونه است در تاجیکستان و من بسیار میخواستم با هر یک شما را با تلقین انا همین روزه میز مدور هر یک شما را باز هم زیادتر جلب نمایم با پیشنهاد لایحه‌های چنین مدل ژان مونه برای اینکه چگونه که ما از روی معلومات دیده ایستاده‌ایم از روی لایحه‌هایی که امروز CBHA Capacity Building Higher Education که امروز در دانشگاه‌ها هستند اون اگر از 100% همون پروپوزال یا اینکه لایحه‌ای که شما پیشنهاد میکنید اگر 10-20%ش گذرد از ژان مونه ما امروز نگاه کرده ایستاده‌ایم 50% همین پیشنهاد میکردگی پروپوزال ها میگذرن. برای همین به نهایت خرسند میشویم اگر در تاجیکستان همین برنامه های ژان مونه زیادتر شود. این برنامه هست که هم آسانتر از کاربریش هم یعنی گذشتن به این برنامه مثل CBHA مثل یک کنکورنسی بلند، رقابت بلند علمی ندارد و همه اون دانش‌هایی که از مملکت‌های پیشرفته اتحاد اروپا هست امروز بینید که چقدر ما گفته گذاشتیم که سری وقتی است برنامه و چی است مثلا پیشنهاد امروزه برای چی سری وقتی است که شما میبینید که علاقه کدام سمت ها هر یک از در سمت خود در سمت نقلیات باشد، رقم کنونی باشد، ذخیره های آب باشد، اداره کنی آب باشد یا گزارش به انرژی سبز باشد که همه اینها هستند و همون استراتژی های ملی مملکت ما که پیش از همه اساسگذار سلطنت ملی پیشوای ملت محترم پرزیدنت کشور تاکید کرده ایستادند که در آن همین سمت ها کاربری کرده شود و استراتژی ملی جمهوری را گذاشته ایستادند که به این به کار ما آسانی میدهد و من باوری دارم که با حضور کارشناسان ورزیده امروزه شما میتوانید ببینید که ژان مونه مدل چگونه پیشنهاد کرده می شود، کدام درس ها رو در اینجا گفته گذاشتند و چقدر مبلغ هایی که برای ژان مونه میدهد. این یک سرمایه گذاری تایور اومده است که ما میتوانیم این رو در همون اکادمیکی در یک فضای اکادمیکی خود باز هم زیادتر نماییم و من باز یک بار دیگر با همه اشتراکداران با وزارت معارف در اینجا نماینده‌هاشان هستند میان‌داری خود رو بیان می‌سازم برای جمع آوردن برای تشکیل کردن با سید قاسم که به نهایت فعال هستند در سمت همه کی اکشن پلان ها همه همون عمل های کلیدی در اراسموس و در ژان مونه. ما باز هم در نقشه های این ساله در نقشه من هست با سید قاسم که با دیگر دانشگاه ها رفته درباره ژان مونه باز هم بیشتر معلومات داده و شما میتوانید هم امروزه اون اکسپرت های بهترینی که در اینجا جمع آورده است سید قاسم هم از سید قاسم میتوانید همین رو آموخته باز در آینده برنامه های ژان مونه مدول رو زیادتر سازیم. سلامت باشید. تشکر با کاری امروزه کنفرانس به هممون بودباری و یک کنفرانس باید شود که از همین نتیجه های خوبی علمی و عملی به دست بیاریم. تشکر.
Thank you so much, dear Dr. Nakadzadeh. Indeed, this Jean Monnet module is a historic for Tajikistan because it's the until now is the only one Jean Monnet module coordinated by Tajikistan universities in these 30 years of the existing of the project. But I believe in the future we will have more Jean Monnet. As Malima called, I call all our partners from Tajikistan to actively participate in Jean Monnet. We are here to provide any help, any guidance for you to work on your proposals. So thank you so much. Okay, dear colleagues, we will start the main part of our conference. We will start from the keynote speech. I have just a bit of sad news because just yesterday I was informed our keynote speaker, Professor Chiara Pierobon, she according to the she fallen sick and she cannot participate unfortunately in today conference, but I want to thank our other speaker, the fellow researcher Eldeniz Guseynov, who were more matching to the topic of the conference today to take this keynote speech. So and I also asked him a bit to change his presentation, and I want to say a big thanks to him because of this flexibility and to change in a very short time. So I want to present you our keynote speech for today, for today's conference. Please meet Eldeniz Guseynov, who is a non-resident research fellow at the Heydar Aliyev Center for Eurasian Studies at the Ibn Khaldun University in Turkey, Istanbul, who is also a co-founder of Nightingale Intelligence, a political forecasting consultancy. He specializes in European and international studies, focusing on European Union's foreign policy and its interaction with the Central Asian countries, as well as analyzing foreign policies processes in the Central Asia. So please, Eldeniz Guseynov, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Said Kasim, for inviting me and for such an honor to be a keynote speaker. So actually, it's my first time to be a keynote speaker and also addressing my presentation in Tajikistan, also online, but nevertheless, I hope one day I'll also go to Tajikistan to greet my my friends from such a wonderful country. So today I will speak about European Union foreign policy from the perspective of 5 years. You know that actually, let's say the latest option, let's say version of a EU strategy in Central Asia was adopted in 2019, and now we have 2025. So it's actually 6 years, but nevertheless, I mean, this year is still durating. So we have 5 years between adoption of the strategy and, let's say, today's current developments. So my main actually tese or my main message would be, sorry, can you see my presentation? I don't know, like
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Now you can see, I hope. And can you see I'm switching slides, right?
Sure. Yeah,
Great.
it's working.
Thank you so much. So my main thesis is about European Union is here. It was always here in Central Asia, but interests of the organization, or even let's say about the members of the EU, are so diffuse. So I will try to combine some general information about European Union and its engagement with Central Asian countries with some kind of analysis how the interests of the organization were developing or even like adapting or changing over the time, or even like over the last 5 years. So I can give you some examples of how diffuse interests of the organization are. You know, like in European Union, when we speak about foreign policy, we have two main actually institutions. The first one is the European Commission, and second one is the Council of the European Union. And in the Council of European Union, you have like rolling presidencies or presidency countries of the Council, which somehow also play a crucial role in the coordination of the foreign policy of the European Union in several regions. And normally, presidents, let's say, of the Council of the European Union, they adopt before they start their role, their term, they always adopt kind of a program. I mean, with some clear priorities of their engagement with other members of the European Union. And we had, I tried to analyze at least 10 latest programs. I know actually Poland was the last last leading country in the council. I didn't include Polish program into my chart, but I tried to write a code and to define or to figure out how many times Central Asian countries were mentioned in the programs of the presidents of the Council of the European Union. So we have Romania, Finland, Croatia, Germany, Portugal, Slovenia, France, Czech Republic, Sweden, and Spain. And I also try to compare it with the number of mentions of Western Balkans. So I know we have also some Balkans fellows here, so maybe this information could be also interesting for them. So if you have a look, we can see it's actually obvious that Romania, for example, 2019, had the highest number of mentions of Central Asian countries in its program. And after that, only Germany and Spain were mentioning Central Asian or aiding any kind of priorities of Central Asian countries in their programs. And why Romania actually is so special in that sense? Because 2019, the strategy of the European Union, it was under development, and Romania wanted to have a kind of niche diplomacy. Since Romania is a bit geographically closer to Central Asian countries, has a huge interest in energy sector of the region. They have a lot of cooperation with Turkmenistan and also with Kazakhstan, especially about oil transportation and other topics. So 2019, Romania wanted to play like a leading role in defining main priorities of the European Union in Central Asia. And other than that, we don't see that actually any other, let's say, countries were mentioning Central Asian countries in the program. So we can define here kind of fluctuation in the interest of European Union in its Central Asian foreign policy. The second example, I would just underline here as an example how some kind of, let's say, foreign or like external crisis would also inspire European Union to increase its engagement, or members of the European Union to increase its engagement with Central Asian countries. As an example, sorry, I see here, is it questions in the chat or?
No questions.
Okay, sorry. Okay, also you can raise your questions during my presentation or after, because I will not able to stay until the end of the whole conference. Unfortunately, I need to switch to another event. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to answer it in the chat box, or you can answer me afterwards. After I will finish my presentation. So we can see here a kind of tendency. So people tend to argue that French activization, let's say, or why Macron, was about to visit Central Asia in 2023, and people were speaking about Niger and the cases of uranium fields, and because France want to have some kind of access to uranium of Central Asian countries. I would disagree with that, since France, they have a lot of storages for uranium, so they have enough capacity to provide it for its own needs. And in the sense of Central Asia, I would say it was kind of narrative, battle of narratives. So like a lot of media arguing that Russia was increasing its influence in Western Africa. I mean, by replacing French presence in this region. And in that sense, it was kind of response from France to go to so-called backyard, Putin's backyard from Central Asia, to demonstrate to Putin that France is also here, like in kind of France is coming closer to Russia and to the region of Russia's vital interests to somehow maybe combat Russian presence in the region. So it was also kind of an example how European sometimes increases its engagement with Central Asia and sometimes also decreases it, because after that, I think it was not, I mean, he returned to France a bit hand-empty after his visit to Central Asia. So after that, I don't see any implementation of his visit to the region. At least there were no C5+1 summit with France, or there were no other any meetings between higher level ranked meetings between Central Asia and France after his visit, after his trip to Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. And as a third example for my thesis, you can also see here is a kind of article from EU on their website 2022 about the basis for the cooperation with Central Asian countries, and among them you can see resilience, prosperity, and regional cooperation. And if you open declaration, joint declaration, which was signed after the first full-fledged EU Central Asia summit, it also somehow highlights critical raw materials. So before, American experts were heavily arguing that Central Asia is very important because of its critical raw materials. The European Union didn't really pay attention to that. And if you open this joint declaration, if you try to count number of mentions of critical raw materials, as I remember, it was approximately 5 mentions of this area of cooperation between EU and Central Asia, and try to count number of mentions of, I don't know, like regional cooperation or prosperity or security or democracy as well. So I try to conclude all this, let's say, topics of cooperation in one single table and try to figure out how EU priorities in Central Asia were developing of the time. So if you can have a look on the table, you can see that in 2007, it was more about human rights, rule of law, good governance, and democratization. Second, youth education, economic development. And if you compare it with the EU Central Asia Strategy 2019, it was more about promotion of democracy, human rights, cooperation in broader management. I mean, they kind of, overlapping, but in the roadmap, we see more about deepening interregional political dialogue, strengthening economic relations. And if you also compare it with joint declarations after Germany Central Asia Summit or after Macron's visit to Kazakhstan, we can see like the topics like economy and political cooperation were more prioritized in cooperation between main EU members and also between EU and Central Asia also. So we see that actually EU tries to also somehow become a more geopolitical actor in the region, trying to somehow maybe have its own, not stable share or place in the region to maybe somehow, maybe, I don't know, like compete with Russia and China and to have its also kind of sphere of influence in the region. But also you can see like 2016, after the whole situation of Ukraine in 2014, EU adopted kind of principles of EU engagement with Russia. And among these principles, I mean, number 2, you can see that it was about Central Asia and strengthening relations with the region. It was 2016. And 2024, if I'm not mistaken, there was some remarks by High Representative of EU on security and foreign affairs. And he said, when we talk about Central Asia some years ago, maybe we could say that Central Asia was nowhere. But despite of the fact that in 2016, I mean, EU had Central Asia among its principles of its relations towards Russia, and it was in second place. So you see that actually there are some kind of problems of how EU really tries to engage with the region. Interests are also always changing, and also topics and priorities of cooperation. And if you speak about the evolution of the strategy, I mean, 2007, there was kind of first paper, kind of a strategy of EU in Central Asia. 2019, It was more like a shift to strategic economic and connectivity agenda 2003. It was a joint roadmap was signed between EU and Central Asia. I mean, it was ministerial meeting, meeting of ministers of foreign affairs of EU and Central Asia. And if I'm mistaken, it was a kind of first meeting of 27 foreign ministers of EU members and 5 Central Asian foreign ministers. And 2005, it was kind of first full-fledged EU Central Asia Summit. And do you know why I underlined the word full-fledged? Because at the first time when Ursula von der Leyen joined this meeting, all the summits which were kind of summits which were at least presented as EU Central Asia summits, this was a bit wrong. Kind of, it was more like Council of the European Union and Central Asia summits rather than EU Central Asia summits, because head of European Commission was missing these meetings. And for a summit to be a full-fledged summit, it's required to have a head of EU Council and also European Commission to be present on the meeting. So it was a kind of first full-fledged, which was actually also postponed several times. First, remember, it was announced to be conducted in 2024. It was, at least it was expected to be, I don't know, in May or April. Then, I mean, there were elections in the European Parliament. Some experts were arguing that the summit was about to take place in September or October. It didn't also took place, and only like in April, I mean, 1 year after it was promised, it would take place finally in Samarkand. And also a joint declaration was signed afterwards. And also, you know, like it's a very important tool of EU to interact with Central Asian countries. It's called so-called enhanced partnership agreements, which has already been ratified between Kazakhstan and the European Union. In the case of Kyrgyzstan, if I'm not wrong, Kyrgyzstan has already ratified this agreement or not. Maybe experts can correct me in that case. But I know that, for example, some EU members, like for example, Bulgaria, have already ratified this agreement. So it takes some time between all EU members have their own internal procedures before they give like one single voice of EU to approve or to decline ratification of agreement. I mean, we still expect signing of this agreement between Uzbekistan and European Union. There were some negotiations between Tajikistan and EU, and Turkmenistan, there was a kind of a protocol which was signed in 2024. So still, in the case of EU, it moves a bit slowly, but I think also in the right direction, because they also try to create a kind of legal framework to deepen relations between EU and Central Asia. And we have also kind of economic footprint snapshot. So people argue that EU, I remember 2022, there were some kind of official, you know, announcements that EU was a larger trade partner of Central Asia. It also, people still argue that EU is the largest investor, and we still expect any kind of global gateway investments in the region. But I don't know, like Tajikistan has already joined any programs? I think no, because they refused in 2023. There was a forum where Tajikistan refused to accept any loans or credits which will be, I mean, provided within the framework of the global gateway. So I would just maybe try with you somehow reconsider this argument that EU is the biggest trade partner and that EU is also largest investor. Because if you speak about EU as a main trade partner of Central Asia, you may see here, or even that EU is the second largest trade partner. Officially, yes. I mean, the kind of, if you have a look at statistics without delving into it, of course, I mean, EU is the main trade partner because it's mainly Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is approximately 70% of the total trade turnover between EU and Central Asia. It's mostly Kazakh export of oil, which goes to EU. It's approximately 70%. I mean, its share in mutual trade turnover between EU and Central Asia is 70% of Kazakh export of oil. And you can even like see how it develops, like how the trend of Central Asian exports to EU goes, and also how Kazakh oil export to EU, I mean, how it looks on the chart, on my chart. So you see like, I think one-to-one dependency between two lines on my chart. So actually, Central Asian export to EU, it's more about Kazakh oil export to the European Union. And that's the reason why EU is the main trade partner, at least first or second largest trade partner of Central Asian countries. If we speak about also investments, it's more about Russia and China, which use legislation of the Netherlands to invest in mining sector of at least of Kazakhstan. I'm not sure about any other Central Asian countries. I don't know if Netherlands, for example, is a main investor in Kyrgyzstan or in Uzbekistan, but at least in the case of Kazakhstan, Netherlands is a main investor. And I would doubt this argument because there are some analysis which argues that actually China and also some big companies, oil companies from China and Russia, like Lukoil or CNPC, they just use Dutch legislation to somehow, to hidden kind of information about these companies and about in amount of investments allocated in Kazakhstan or even like worldwide. So, but in that sense, I also try to analyze how this FDIs and FDI growth from different Kazakh partners affect Kazakh GDP growth. So don't take it seriously, first and foremost, because it still has to be proven. But for the first, observation, it was quite interesting that actually the more China invests in Kazakhstan, the more we can observe a GDP growth in the country. And I think it has a kind of dependency because officially in our statistics in Kazakhstan, China invests in logistics, in science, or I don't know, like in agriculture, because unofficially all other Chinese investments, they go through Netherlands. Same about Russia, actually. So in that sense, it's quite interesting that allocation of investments can because still I need to check, I need to prove it, can somehow have an impact on GDP growth in comparison to the European Union, because official EU investments in Kazakhstan are more allocated in such spheres like mining sector, I don't know, oil and gas, or maybe raw materials. And also the third kind of domain of EU engagement in the region is more about China and EU transportation projects, like the Global Gateway, BRI. People speak a lot about competition among them. I can provide you data only like I have limited access to data. Some experts argue that China has invested approximately 56 billion of USD until 2020 within the BRI framework. I can, check the data, but we have some information from the OECD Academy about PRC investments within the BRI in transport in the region, and also we have data from BRD, and we can see like this, the difference between the amount of investments from China and the European Union in the region. Still, there's a lot to do for EU to maybe somehow reach the level of China or even Russia in the region. And also, there's some other data that China now actually intensifies in investing more and more in transport in the region, especially amidst the conflicts which take place in South Asia. I would like maybe now underline key cooperation pillars between EU and Central Asia. So first and foremost, for me, it's more about critical raw materials and green hydrogen value chains. Like we have a Saratagan kind of graphite area. And this material is so important, graphene is so important for EU because China now dominates approximately 90% of its processing worldwide. And EU has included this field into 13 strategic fields for raw materials worldwide. So now EU has a clear intention to engage more in this sector. It's also about lithium, since I know that German and French companies try to obtain some licenses and also try to have a consortium to extract lithium on the territory of Kazakhstan, maybe also in Uzbekistan. It's still to be discussed. And also, second topic is connectivity. There are some projects on digital and water connectivity. So I think this is how also EU tries to combat Russia and Chinese presence in the region by promoting more integration in the region, by offering some solutions which, hinder any kind of Central Asian integration. And we know that we still in our integration, there's a lot of things to do. Also it's about water security, water conflicts. It's about digital connectivity. So EU tries to implement some projects in the sphere to promote interregional cooperation and also integration within the Global Gateway. I know about these two projects about digital connectivity and water management, and also different EU members are engaging in this projects. I know that, for example, Finland also is a member of digital project. I think France is more in water, if I'm not wrong, but we can look at, we'll look for that later. And also it's about security from my point of view. There are a lot of projects like BOMCA on border security, some also cooperation on counterterrorism and also sanctions synchronization. And as I have already noticed and also mentioned, promotion of integration in the region. And if you speak about any kind of geopolitical drivers of the cooperation, I would think it's more about post-war Ukraine energy and sanctions realignment. EU is interested more in resources and energy of the region. It's about Afghanistan, of course, and it's also about like EU, which promotes itself as a partner, but not a power, amid the whole fragmentation, which can also take place in the region. And we speak about challenges and constraints. So I think first and foremost, any kind of possibility of instability in South Caucasus is a challenge for EU engagement with the region, because we can't speak about any kind of interactivity between EU and Central Asia without South Caucasus. So otherwise, EU is forced to cooperate with Central Asia, so the territory of Russia. Actually, theoretically, it's also possible, maybe somehow like through the Mediterranean Sea, to, I don't know, Israel or Syria, and then, I don't know, like Iraq, Iran, and then to reach the Central Asian countries. It's a second option for the EU to avoid Russian territory for cooperation. Still, there's financial gap for hard infrastructure. So this 10 billion of euros were announced, I don't know, like 3 years ago. And still, we only now can see first projects to be implemented in the region in the sector of infrastructure. And I think EU its engagement with Turkmenistan and Tajikistan is quite limited in at least in such spheres like extraction, mining and extraction, also logistics and infrastructure. But maybe like in the case of education, I think EU has good achievements. At least we have now this conference and can sit together and discuss EU engagement with Central Asian countries. And if you just have a look on the map, you can see definitely some obstacles. EU has to keep good relations with Turkey and also with Azerbaijan, South Caucasus, just in order to be more present in Central Asia. And like there were some constraints in the relations. And also sometimes I think that South Caucasian countries and Turkey can also use this kind of movement, this EU inspiration to be more engaged with Central Asia, to increase its own, significance, its own importance. Turkey can definitely use this whole tendency for interconnectivity between EU and Central Asia to be more influential on both sides, by the way, on EU and Central Asian countries. And if you speak about any EU advantages, there are actually a lot of advantages. First and foremost, it's a kind of lower risky entry, since EU offers some, it's a biggest donor for sure in Central Asia. It's also kind of a strong normative appeal and high education links, which definitely makes sense. In Kazakhstan, since 2023, EU has even surpassed Russia on number of students participating in mobility, in education mobility. So now we have more Kazakh students moving to EU to take part in education mobility, kind of a semester abroad in EU rather than in Russia or in any other states of, or of any other members of the Commonwealth of Independent States. And also, EU always speaks about the sustainability of promoting supply chains on the territory of Central Asian countries, like kind of Ursula von der Leyen during the latest summit was speaking about, we are here not just to extract your materials, but also to develop extraction and also processing on the territory of Central Asian countries, and maybe also to build some factories which will help Central Asian countries to be less dependent on export of its raw materials and to be an export of like completed goods, let's say. So for me, of course, even in my case, I would definitely favor it. And I think that even because of EU race for raw materials in Central Asia, China started to change its attitude or its kind of position towards this topic. So now we can see that China now speaks more about green financing, about green initiatives, about having sustainability in extraction of raw materials in Central Asia. Also, it has changed its oven law, mentioning ECG. So I think that the more EU will engage with Central Asia, the higher kind of sustainable development we will have in the region. And also some other external actors within this race will intend to improve their own standards in cooperation with the region. But I have also prepared some 3 key scenarios. Unfortunately, I can't see the time. Do you have still time, Said Qasim? Or...
Yeah, we have like 1 minute to complete, Eldenis.
Okay, so just to conclude my presentation, to sum up, I feel like kind of these 3 scenarios. The first one is continued desire of EU, and maybe together with the United States, to compete with PRC and Russian Federation. And it will be more about struggle towards integration formats and access to resources. And I have already spoke about some kind of positive sides of it, like inspiring Russia and China to change their own standards of cooperation. Second scenario is just reduced interest in the Central Asia because of deepening ties between US and EU. But I know like you will definitely disagree with me. And second scenario, just having the status quo. So like absence of like any kind of clear plan of EU and how it will engage with Central Asian countries, with always this fluctuation of interests of EU and also of its priorities in the region. So thank you so much. Thanks for your attention. I hope you could enjoy my presentation, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you, Eldenis, for this overview of the development of the EU and Central Asian relationship. I mean, of course, this partnership I think is important. You know, the key fact that you have mentioned lately, it will give more sustainable development in the region, of course, and it's a great, you know, it's a great like call to the other partners to think more sustainably. I believe if there are some questions, please you can raise the questions. If not, we will be continuing, or if you have any questions, you can leave in the chat box and we can deliver. Just unfortunately, Eldenis cannot stay with us the whole conference, but if there will be any questions, we can forward him the question. Once again, thank you so much for your presentation. Okay, we will be continuing. I want to bring the second speaker. Let me introduce you with Professor Serjan Recepagic, who is a full professor professor of economics at the University of Côte d'Azur in France. His academic career is marked by his excellent work in scientific work engaged in the University of Côte d'Azur. He is a visiting professor at several renowned worldwide universities like Luxembourg School of Business, International University of Monaco, Paris Sorbonne Nouvelle, Technical University of Košice, University of Coimbra, Portugal, and many others. In addition to active involvement in the scientific work, he has an extensive experience in managing study programs, international projects funded by the European Union, and he has about a lot of 100 published scientific papers. He is the editor of more than 10 international recognized editions of books and monographs of the international importance, and he is the editor-in-chief of the scientific journal Balkan Economic Review. So with the honor, I will give a floor to Professor Serjan Recepagic, who is also the member of the Jean Monnet Module project. Thank you for your engagement, and Professor Recepagic, I give the floor to you.
Thank you very much, dear colleague. I will share firstly the presentation like this. So first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. As we have started to cooperate together, within this Jean Monnet program that I'm very in favor. And also, as you know, my university, Université Côte d'Azur in Nice, in France, very active and dynamic university in international relations and cooperations, and especially we have this priority also to cooperate with Central Asia countries, and also to go further together within different programs that we would like within the next open calls to apply with our partners. So I consider this Jean Monnet program opportunity as the initial phase that we can start and cooperate together in much more projects and ideas in the field of higher education institutions possibilities, but also in the field of science and research. What are our priorities? Just for the brief introduction, I'm managing also one scientific institute that is related to the direct scientific cooperation between European Union countries and Western Balkan countries that are not full member of European Union, actually. And my presentation of today is mainly oriented to the question of European integrations and also their perspectives for the future. So I would like to start, and we will see a little bit some important issues and elements that I would like to share with you. So first of all, why it doesn't work? Sorry, I don't know why it doesn't move. It goes. Okay. Sorry. My mistake. So first of all, I would like to underline importance of the European Union that we have nowadays. We have the continent that is covering 27 member states, more than 500,000 citizens, and we have these member states that are straightly cooperating with the candidate countries for membership that are mainly focused and situated in a Western Balkan region, as we have Albania, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Turkey that has particular status in this way. On another hand, I would like to underline importance of one thing that is essential, that progressively we have had the enlargement of European Union with countries that the last one has joined European Union 2 years ago, Croatia, but we have also the progress that you have to know, and that you are for sure knowing, that if we analyze European Union and Eurozone, there are slight differences. You have to be member of the European Union, but it's not mandatory that you will be the part of Eurozone. Actually, we have, out of 27 economies that are the part of European Union, we have only 20 of them that are the part of Eurozone. And analyzing this, we have to know that we are always focused on the main principles of European Union. And what represent this? First of all, I will say that common values, and especially when we talk about freedom, about democracy, about equality, rule of law, but also human rights, we talk about the kind of respect that should be done, and that is established by the treaties establishing European Union. From another side, another principle is the aim to promote the peace and this union's values. It means values of this European Union and the well-being of its people, also established within the treaties. And The last point that I would like to underline represent different freedoms that we have and that are well known as 4 freedoms that are related to the free movement of people, services, goods, and capital. So we have to know that these elements represent the main principles on establishing European Union. Secondly, we have to know that as of today, this enlargement agenda of the European Union regards 3 different groups of states that are on their way to the European Union. It doesn't mean that these countries will join in 1 year, in 10 years, or probably even never European Union, but actually respecting the agenda. These countries are divided, and we have one part of economies that are considered as Balkan economies. From another side, we have Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine, and we have Turkey, that is historically well-known candidate country to joining European Union. So when we analyze this, we have to know through different examples, we will see what does the EU do for you. First of all, European Union offer so many possibilities. I have mentioned 4 movements, 4 freedoms, sorry, that are essential, that we can move, work, and freely manage all issues between member states, between 27 member states. From another side, it is important to say that we have a single currency, that is euro, that is adopted by 20 out of 27 economies. So it means that we have also different kind of equal opportunities, but also environmental laws to combat global warmings that represent elements that even over this, we have much more of them that will be analyzed. So when we talk about European Union, we have to know that future of European Union is based on the history, if I can say like this, because the EU represent one kind of a good example of custom union or trading bloc that has one aim to facilitate this free movement or free trade between different member states. Also, we have to know that I'm analyzing always European Union from the point of view of economy, but also we have to know that European Union is showing to us main characteristics of political union, with the aim to promote this free trade and forge closer economic, social, political, legal, and other links between member states. So if we want to understand European Union, we have to take really care about the global concept and the way how this union is organized, not only from economic point of view, but also political, social, legal, etc. So when we know this, we have to know that there are different roles, and this role of European Union is mainly to facilitate this freedom of movement of capital, labor, but also to favorize competition in businesses, and also to increase the level of economic growth that is very important for each economy separately, but also for the whole community as we are talking about European Union. Aim is also to realize and to facilitate higher living standards for their citizens, but also different opportunities of different activities that will bring us to the opportunities for economics of scale in different businesses that is realized. Secondly, we have to know that that we have effects of EU enlargement. It means that this could include different reduction in labor costs for businesses. We have free movement of workers. It means one French citizen is fully able to go to work in Germany, to live in France, and to have children scholarized, for example, in Luxembourg. Secondly, we are talking about access to the greater levels of funding through different capital markets. It means this is one great opportunity for businesses. We have increased consumer choices. It means that we have opportunity without any additional costs to obtain goods and services coming from other countries. We have possibilities to increase competitions. It means between business in the custom union is mainly focused to that issue. And also with new enlargements, we increase the number of population, but also territory of European Union. So we have to think about importance from economic point of view about this issue that we're talking about, common currency. Common currency, we have currently 20 out of 27 member states that have joined the single market, and they have adopted this common currency that is euro. So now there is a simple trade between them because we are using the same currency. When you travel, you arrive in France, you're using euro. Then you go to Italy, that is, for example, from Nice, half an hour by car or by train. You don't need to change money, you use the same currency. Then you would like to travel in Germany, it will be the same currency. But still, we have 7 member states that are not using euro. These benefits of the euro mainly shows to us increase in the trade levels, but also favorize businesses within European Union member states. That's why we avoid exchange rate transactions that are in focus of this analysis. Then we have to know that nothing is automatically. First of all, we have to be the member of European Union in order to be able to join this euro area. But it is not automatically. Some countries, not some, all countries join first the European Union, and then they can join euro area if they ensure different measures already established between different elements. So we have to ensure price stability, we have to ensure durability of convergence. It means that we have to measure and take under control long-term interest rates. We have to have healthy public finances. It means that we don't have to have high percentage of GDP that represent government deficit. We have to have sustainable public finances. It means that we have to have government debt representing in terms of percentage of GDP that is not higher than 60%. That is not the case even with the highest or advanced economies actually within European Union. And we have to ensure exchange rate stability. It means that we have to be able to measure this deviation from a central parity. It means that we use convergence criteria, that is participation in exchange rate mechanism, ERM2, for at least 2 years without different tensions and fluctuations that are significant. And then we arrived to the concluding discussion or ideas for the future of this European Union and the enlargement that will or will not be realized in the future. So we're always thinking about who will be a leader in the EU. We don't have officially. We don't have a leader because we have some economies that are more advanced there than another economies, bigger economies or bigger countries than other countries. But there is always a question that we talk about leader position. Leader position is not showing anything particular. So we have to know that we talk about different economic crises, difficulties that are also faced these economies. And we have also within these economies, we have also those that are considered as populism and Euroscepticism approaches. So future of EU is based on Eurozone that normally will enlarge as countries will be ready to join Eurozone. Mandatory is to be the full member state of European Union to join Eurozone. Secondly, we have big differences between West and East. It means between old and new member states. We have countries from North and South that are different economies, different population, different even political structure. So I consider always Europe as the system with multi-speed. It means we couldn't say we are all driving in the same speed. Some countries are driving faster than other countries. We have also different structures showing federalism or confederalism situations within organizational tasks within these countries. We have to think about the status quo that represent different issues that we stop for the moment and that we have to open and go faster in the future. First of all, we have to think about economy and then about political issues that will be analyzed. So when we talk about this, we think about the single market. Single market is not enough. A single market showed to us that we have lack of common values, lack of identity, or even lack of common history. We are so different, but we are unified in one family, and this family is European Union. And you know that even those candidate countries have to fulfill all their criteria, not only economically talking, not only socially talking, but also politically talking, that should join and be able to join European Union. So thank you so much for your attention. And I have really tried to respect request of my colleagues, our partners and friends, to be on time within this presentation, knowing that I will share the presentation to Said Qasim, who will share the presentation with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear Professor Cepacic. It's very interesting. Thank you for giving this overview about the EU enlargement policy. Actually, you know, as we came with the idea of why should we learn about the EU integration as a role model for the regional integration, you know, I believe that until now there is no any similar organization existing in the world as the European Union. is probably one of the most profound and most complicated level of the integration, like full integration. So it's been a great journey together with you and Marko Tomljanovic to study deep about the European Union and also to share with our students, with our colleagues. So thank you so much. Next, I would like to give
It was my pleasure.
To Professor Marko Tomljanovic, who is also a member of the Jean Monnet Module European Union as a case of Asia. Marko Tomljanovic, he is the professor in the Faculty of Economics and Business in the University of Rijeka. He is a holder of the Jean Monnet Chair and also a Jean Monnet Module. He is mostly engaged in the lecturing and seminaring in the different courses related to the European Union integration, international trade. He is also engaged in the different scientific and professional projects funded by the European Union and also governmental funds. He is also editor and author of 13 scientific monographs and the university textbooks, after more than 50 scientific papers in the field of the economy and international economy. So the pleasure, I give a floor to Professor Marko Tomljanovic. We have 15 minutes for your presentation. Please, Marko.
Okay, thank you very much. It's always nice to be here with you, Said Kosim. Thank you very much for inviting me here. I am also looking for the future cooperation with you all. Well, my friend Professor Sergio made me a very nice intro to my presentation. I will now share my presentation. Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
I think. Okay, so my topic of day is about Western Balkan countries. Sergio mentioned that today's a modern process of the European Union is structured on the three groups of the country, and the most important group nowadays are the Western Balkan countries. So European Union is I would say focused on the Western Balkan countries in the last 21 years, and all those countries put a full membership in the European Union as their crucial a strategical goal, economic goal, a social goal. So they are I would say running toward the European Union. But in order to achieve all the goals, to achieve a full membership of the European Union, they are also asked to fill many criteria. For example, we have a basic criteria, so-called Copenhagen criteria. These are criteria like a political criteria, economic criteria, a legal criteria. We have also a Madrid criteria. It's administrative criteria, and we have in the context of the Western Balkan countries many additional criteria. Those criteria are the mostly related to a legal framework, a political stability, a democracy, a rule of law, and so on and so on. And in the context of the joining of the Western Balkan countries to the European Union, we have many motives like an internal market, European funds, a stability, a democracy, a rule of law, but also in the context of those countries, we have many obstacles, problems, a perspective, and the challenges. So in order to achieve achieve a full membership in the European Union, all those countries are forced to adjust their own national legislation toward the European Union acquis, a legal form. So in order to achieve membership, they have to find way how to adjust their system with the 35 chapters. So when we talk about adjusting legislation, we do not talk about I would say a copy paste principle, because copy paste principle is not possible. All those countries have to find a way in which they will take all those 35 chapters, but they have to adjust it according their national specifics. So in the context of the countries, this is very challenging process. For example, Croatia was a candidate country for 10 years, and all those countries have to put many efforts in order to achieve all those I would say a formal steps. Nowadays, as Sergeant said, when we talk about Western Balkan countries, we are talking about Albania, Serbia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Kosovo is a potential candidate countries, and also in the last year we are talking about Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova, and the Turkey. But Turkey is I would say a candidate country for a 30 year, but process of the Turkey is going much more slower because of the political reason, a cultural reason, and so on and so on. So a key question, a key question of the presentation is are the Western Balkan countries ready, or I would say a suitable country for the European Union membership? Well, integration of all those countries is full of the question, and a little bit later in the presentation I will also give you some question, but we have to start with the first question: are the country ready or the suitable? So if we see GDP per capita, we can see that all those countries are lagging behind the European Union. Montenegro, Bosnia, Albania, Kosovo are here, but they are lagging behind. Another indicator is GDP growth rate. Well, we can see that the all countries of the Western Balkans expect Bosnia, they are growing faster than the European Union. Is it a tricky? Well, yes, it is, because when you see a basic theory of the convergence, they will say that the countries which are at the least phase of the growth, they are growing fast in order to achieve, to catch up all the countries which are on the higher level of the development. Also all those countries, well, in the last period they raised the unemployment rate, but they are also lagging behind the Union. Serbia and Albania are here leading countries. Also in the context on the unemployment rate, all those countries have a greater unemployment than the European Union, and this is also one of the social and the economic challenges in these countries. Also, we can see that all those countries are very good in very nice field for the foreign direct investment. Data shows that all those countries have a great influence of the foreign investment, but it's it would be very useful and nice to see sources of the investment and the purpose of the investment in those countries. Also a fun fact: those countries are paying a much more taxes than the European Union. Also, situation with this is similar with the situation in the Croatia. We are paying. All those countries in the region are paying many taxes, and this is also a large an obstacle for the companies, people, and so on to create a new businesses operations. Also, all those countries, all those countries are also motivated to achieve economic of knowledge. Also, in order to achieve this, they have to rise a government of the education. But also, when we talk about all those new things, smart sources, green sources, innovative sources, data for those countries are very incomplete. So we have a very big problems when we want to find data. So in the context of the expenditure on education, we had the data only for Albania and Serbia. Also in the context to achieve a modern economy which is in line with the modern European Union priorities. So all those countries have to motivate a research and the development expenditure. But also on this picture we can see a gap also among Western Balkan countries. Serbia is the leading country, and nowadays Serbia in the context of the European integration is a leading country together with Montenegro. Also, in order to achieve a competitiveness, they have to create a new product, and based on the high technology export, we can see that the leading country is Montenegro, then the Bosnia, North Macedonia, and so on. But we have also present a large gap in the comparison of the European Union. Also very nice an indicator, SDG index. So all those countries are in the first 60 countries among SDG index country, and this is very nice indicator which shows that all those countries make a great steps in context of the achieving sustainability. Also, all those countries are very good positioned in the context of the global knowledge index, and it is also a very nice indicator about their efforts to achieve a knowledge economy and the modern economy. Also, all those countries are very good ranked in the context of the easy of the doing business, but they have to also made a large progress in order to achieve a positive business environment, and to achieve a competitiveness in the world, and also to prepare for the challenges of the European Union market. Also, I am at the end. A second question: in order to achieve a full membership, all those countries have to adjust political reforms, economic reforms, social reforms. They are now as a preparation stage. They are members of the CEFTA association. But finally a key question is are they Western Balkans ready for the all benefits of the European Union? So are they ready for the market? Are they ready for the freedom? Are they also ready for the trade policy? Because you all have to have in mind that by the joining to the European Union, countries are losing a part of their sovereignty, especially in the context of the customs, trade, monetary policy, and so on and so on. So key question is this: are they ready to give a part of the sovereignty to the European Union? Are they ready for the budget? Are they ready to pay in the budget, and also get money for the budget? Also connected with this, most important motive of the countries in the process of the joining the European Union are the funds. But in the context to use funds, all those countries have to have capacities in the people, finance institutions, and so on and so on. Connected with this, are they ready for the cohesion policy? And also, are they, as Srđan presented, are they ready for the euro? Are they ready to, I would say, change their national currency? And also, are they ready for the modern goals of the European Union, which are focused on the European Green Deal, a smart green, a sustainable goals, and so on and so on. And I will. Also, European Union prepared for the Western Balkan countries in order to help them with their integration, a new growth plan, by which all those countries will get help in order to adjust the European Union economy. I will finish this with the three questions. So, would Western Balkan countries integrated to the European Union? Would the European Union to integrate to Western Balkan countries, both, or we would have in the future something else? So it was very fast. I hope that I am in the time. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question now or later, I am here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, dear Professor Tomljanovic. We are perfectly on time, and according to the shift of the one speaker, we will have 15 minutes So very interesting presentation. I mean, Western Balkan is a very interesting area, and I mean, the questions you raised is, of course, the time will show, but we probably some of the countries will soon maybe join the EU and the and yeah. And now I want to invite our next presenter, which is the very interesting topic. Actually, the topic is very close to our project because our project is about how to have a regional integration. I mean, in the case of a Central Asia, and our presenter will present the presentation about the benefits of integration among Central Asian countries in the process of a cooperation with the European Union. And I want to introduce our speaker, Professor Haydarov Miryakup, who is a very experienced economist with the PhD in economics from the Institute of Economy of the Academy of Sciences of Uzbekistan. Over his career, he has a vast experience working in a government, in banking, academia, including he took senior positions at the Ministry of Labor, in the National Bank of the Foreign Economic Activity. His experience spans in the labor market development, public finance, and credit policy. And currently, he serves as an associate professor at the National University of Uzbekistan, which is a very good partner of our university, where he contributes in research, teaching in economic theory. So, Professor Miryakup Haydarov, thank you very much for your contribution to our conference, and we are very welcome you. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for inviting to the meeting. I'm honored to participate. And I would like to express gratitude for previous presentations. It was very interesting. My report is Benefits of Regional Integration in Central Asia within the European Union Cooperation Framework. Well, you know, the meeting, this event is following to Samarkand summit held in April 4th, where was taken achieved agreement to increase this cooperation up to strategic partnership. And there was discussed the main directions of cooperation. Why cooperation with European Union? It's not just prestigious for the Central, it's beneficiary for the Central Asian countries to cooperate with the European Union, which possess a GDP rate. Sorry, is it seeable
Yes.
presentation? Yes, on okay. Thank you. With a GDP more than 19 trillions, with a population around 450 million. It's a huge market of finance, capital, technologies, educations, and so on. It's very beneficial to cooperate Central Asia with the European Union. On the meeting in Samarkand was determined the main strategic directions of cooperation with the European Union. It's shown in, I guess everybody knows that cooperation in solving global programs like climate change, the fight against terrorism, extremism, organized crime, cooperation in the field of investment and transport infrastructure. The projects are aimed at the implementing of European Union's global gateway programs. Cooperation in the field of energy, including renewable energy, water management, which is aimed at achieving European Union goals for sustainable development and climate neutrality. The priority of European cooperation with Central Asia remaining the cultural connections, including education programs like it was Tempus, nowadays that is Erasmus Plus, and other educational programs, and the location of Central Asia as well make some interest for European politics. By the result of this meeting, it was announced that European Union is going to attract investment package to Central Asian countries, worth 12 billion euros in total. It's not so easy. The funding has to be done from private sectors, and the private sector usually is looking for the risks. In general, the Central Asian region market is not so much complementary for the European serious investors. Why? To become interested in the region must at least meet the following criteria. First, the population of investment market by today's standard must exceed 65-70 million people. That is researchers of global markets showing that. Not a single Central Asia country individually meets this criteria. Only if they can unite in common market, it could be interesting for investors. So the countries of the region must ensure the free flows of goods, labor, investment, and financial flows. So these finances must be could be easily convertible to each other within the region. Then the region could be pretend to attract serious investments. Since 2018, the issues of a Central Asian cooperation and integration is discussed on different level. On the top level was discussed last year in the Astana. There was adopted a concept of further integration. On the academic circles is discussed these issues. You know, a couple of weeks ago on May 27, 28, the regional seminar Central Asia 2050 was held in Tashkent, where experts from 5 Central Asian countries discusses the future of the region through the prism of climate challenges, demography, and sustainable development. So thus, 2 approaches are emerging to ensure the development of cooperation in Central Asian region, integration of Central Asia, so-called conditionally institutional approach and conditional project-based approach. The institutional approach is understood as a creation of supranational structures whose activities should be aimed at harmonizing legislation, harmonizing position on solving regional problems, and establishing organization to solve them. It should be remembered that Central Asian countries already have experience with the institutional approach. In 1994, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan created the Central Asian Union, which envisages the creation of an economic union and single economic space. At that time, the Intergovernmental Council, the Council of Foreign Ministers, and the Council of Defense Ministers were established, and the Central Asian Bank for Cooperation and Development was established by the 3 governments of Central Asian states. The parties even began to talk about plans to create a Central Asia Parliament. Despite all these achievements, the institutional approach did not justify itself. Most likely, the reason was the lack of real economic results of this interstate organization. as mentioned during the previous, in Europe, acting is the principle of economy first and political issues later. This principle was violated in case of Central Asia. That's why this approaches pay a lot. In recent years, the world has undergone significant changes. Today, the concept of global economy in many academic and political circles in more degree has begun to replace it by the concept of regionalization. We can, as example, consider ASEAN, NAFTA, African Union, Islamic Conference, BRICS, and other regional unions. As the most successful, we can say European Union. The Central Asian states have not remained on the sidelines. Since 2018, I told on the top level discusses again the issues of cooperation and integration of these countries. And the most interesting in this regards is publication is experience of the European Union, which starting from the European coal and steel community, integrating the European economic cooperation. And today is no longer just a economic union, but a powerful confederative association who plays a leading role in forming political and economic rules of the game on the entire planet. There is no coal and steel community in Central Asia. Instead, the following projects seem more attractive. First, a project, or rather a program for the transport interconnection of Central Asian states. This means not only connecting the Central Asian countries with Europe via Trans-Caspian transport corridor, but above all, deepening transport communication between the Central Asian countries and their regions with a network of high-speed railways. Such a network should provide access to all raw materials deposits of Central Asian countries, a rapid movement of labor there and back, import of technologies, and export of finished products in the shortest possible time. The project should also include not only the construction of the railway track, but also the creation of interstate consortium for the production of rolling stock, high-speed electric locomotives, freights, and passenger cars. Most of the raw materials of this project, the needs of construction, ferrous metals, non-ferrous metal can be covered by the internal capabilities of Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and other countries of the region. But advanced European production technologies will be required. The created capacities for the production of rail sleepers, carriage, and trains can be then used to build metros in all major cities of Central Asia. Kazakhstan, Samarkand, Astana, Dushanbe, and others. This program is fully consistent with the European program Global Gates. Second, the economic development of the Central Asian region is largely associated with solving energy problems. Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan are beginning to implement projects to develop nuclear energy. That could become second area of integration, following to the example of European Atomic Energy Community, a Central Asian agency or consortium for the development of nuclear energy within the region could be founded. Today, the Chinese company, CNNC, the Russian Rosatom, South Korean KHNP, a French EDF, and others are interesting to work in the region's nuclear program. it seems necessary to reach an agreement between the states of the region on the development of a unified policy, standards, pricing, joint projects, etc., before attracting third-party equipment suppliers, raw material consumers, and other to the region. Such consolidation of efforts to develop nuclear energy will not only overcome unhealthy competition or contradiction within the region, but also mobilize the necessary scientific, financial, human, and other resources needed to provide the region with the necessary energy and export its surplus. Through the efforts of Central Asian Nuclear Consortium, it will be possible to build a uranium enrichment centrifuge in the region. Rather than exporting uranium ore, it will be better to export ready-to-use products, leaving the added value in the region. All this will generate added value in the region and stimulate rather interstate integration process. The European Union could assist the country of Central Asia not only by supplying the technologies, but also in coordinating procedures for the development of nuclear energy with the International Atomic Energy Agency. The main goal of such a program is to unite peaceful nuclear national resources, provide the region with the necessary energy resources, produce energy sufficient not only for domestic needs, but also for the export surplus. The third direction. The implementation of joint projects should allow mobilizing significant labor resources of Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and the Kyrgyz Republic within the Central Asian region itself, redistributing them to labor deficit areas and optimize the export of labor from the region. Today, the listed Central Asian states are very dependent on the labor market situation outside of the region. If the two above-mentioned programs are implemented on transport and contributed energy supply of the Central Asian countries, such an urgent need for labor export will be overcome. The region's labor resources will be able to work for the enrichment of their own countries.
Professor Haidar, your slides
Yes.
are not moving. I'm sorry.
Is
Now, yes, moving, but I think you forget to switch just the slides, and we have 2 minutes, okay, to complete your.
Thank you. Thank you. As mentioned above, the European Union has long been implementing the Tempus and Erasmus programs. Cooperation in the field of vocational education wider program, and it will be done for realize the above-mentioned programs. And fourth direction, to implement large-scale projects and programs for the investigation of Central Asian countries, attracting only foreign investment will not be sufficient. It is necessary, first of all, to mobilize internal financial sources of the Central Asian countries. This requires solving two issues. First, domestic savings in Central Asian countries are very small, or savings are made in foreign countries. The key monetary problems of Central Asian countries is a shortage of money in national currencies. In their reports of the Central Asian countries, IMF experts note excessive dollarization of these economies. The monetization coefficient, the ratio circulation of money to the GDP in this country is very low and doesn't allow for proper savings and accordingly investment from domestic sources. Second, it's necessary to ensure the free circulation of money in the countries of the region, giving the priority to conversion into each other's in relation to other currencies. And third, it is necessary to have priority free circulation of goods between the countries of Central Asia in relation of other countries. The European experience in this regards will be, technical assistance in this regards will be very welcomed. All these requires serious researchers in the field of monetary policy and regional trade to mobilize domestic resources for investment in the countries of the Central Asia and stimulate their integration. Thank you for the kind attention.
Thank you so much, dear Professor Haydarov. It's very interesting. Actually, I would say probably Uzbekistan, one of the biggest initiators of the regional integration, and has a lot of attempts to bring all the region together. And as I earlier was mentioning that the historical Hujan Declaration, which was signed in our hometown, bringing Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan to solve these border conflicts and to have this peace declaration I mean, it's a historical step to more integrated region in Central Asia. So thank you so much. We are, I think,
Thank you, Sir Qasim.
left only two presentations, and then we will switch to the to short panel discussions. So next, I want to invite our colleague from American University of Central Asia, Associate Professor Yildiz Nisharapova. The title of her presentation is about the EU and Kyrgyzstan strategic partnership. So I want to introduce Dr. Yildiz Nisharapova, who are holding a master's and doctoral degree in political science from Sciences Pro Aix and Provence in France. Since 2023, she has been serving as an associate professor in the Department of Liberal Arts and Sciences at the American University of Central Asia. Dr. Yildiz Nisharapova has also been an invited professor at several universities in Europe, including in France, Germany, and Poland. Previously, she was served as an associate professor in the Kyrgyz National University, American University of Central Asia, in International University of Kyrgyzstan, and many more. Dr. Nisharapova has published over 25 articles and book chapters in journals edited across the different European journals, Latin America, and CIS countries. Her research focuses on topics such as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, Belt and Road Initiative, Euro-Asian Economic Union, and Central Asia security, and the roles of China and Russia in the Central Asian region. So I want to invite Dr. Yildiz Nisharapova. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, dear Said Qasim, for organizing such a great event and for inviting me to speak in this event. So you can see the screen, yes, that I'm switching also. That,
yes.
Where is the... So today, my speech will be about the main areas of cooperation between European Union and Kyrgyz Republic. So it's not switching. So, yeah, of course, the cooperation with European Union and Kyrgyz Republic started just after the independence of Kyrgyz Republic in 1991. And you see that previously from 14 to 22, there were three main sectors of cooperation between these two partners. First, it was the rule of law and education, and rural development. And of course, during this period, EU allocated 174 million euro for this cooperation. And recently, since 2021, there are another cooperation program between these partners. And then three other sectors were added to the previous ones. It's like about digitalization, green and climate resilient economy. Of course, as our colleagues mentioned previously, in 2024, between these two partners, it was signed Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement. And then, of course, they defined the main areas of cooperation between the partners. It's trade and customs, environment and climate, civil society, energy and cooperation, sustainable connectivity, rule of law, security, human rights, etc. So if we talk about the like political cooperation, we see that in the rule of law, European Union offered like some amount of money, 32 million euro, to improve the judiciary system and legislation system. And then, of course, another 5 million for supporting youth, gender equality, human rights. If we talk about the economic part, European Union is also among the main trade partners. Of course, it comes after China, Russia, some Central Asian countries like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. And then it comes some European countries, mostly Switzerland and Germany, and then US. In terms of the FDI, you see that the main investors to Kyrgyzstan, this China and Russia, and then Kazakhstan, and then of course Netherlands. It comes fourth. It's like also yes, the biggest like investors, with $54 million for 2022. And in terms of the trade and in goods, in 2024, the trade between these partners, it was $2.8 billion. Of course, it's mostly export from the European part to Kyrgyzstan. You see here that mostly equipment, machinery, chemicals are exported to Kyrgyzstan. And Kyrgyzstan is also the part of the participant of the GSP Plus program. It's tariff-free, quota-free access to European market, which is also somehow positively impacting the trade and trade cooperation between the partners. So also you see here that the European Union also very active in overall Central Asian countries. It is interested in security, trade, and tackling drug trafficking. And then, of course, Kyrgyzstan also, yes, as a Central Asian country, it is a part of this like projects also. If I mention some projects, it is the first of all, I cannot see because of the, okay, it's the first project, it's with the objective of the to contribute to mitigation of climate change by developing a model of agricultural value chain. The second is youth resilience to climate change. So in these areas, also European Union is very active in the water infrastructure or to giving access to the potable water in the regions of Kyrgyz Republic. You see here that the European Union also financed almost in the like projects almost in all regions of Kyrgyzstan. Especially in the south of Kyrgyzstan, which has like a water shortage problem. Also, in terms of the democracy and human rights, you see here some projects like Breika, Hero, it's like new narratives for a gender equal society, combating discrimination against women from ethnic minorities and ensuring equal access to public services. And of course, the open communities to promote the freedom and the fundamental rights. We all know that the primary goal and primary interest of the European Union in the Central Asia in the region, it's like security. And of course, in the security sphere, European Union is also very active and financing a lot of projects. You see here through, of course, like media also, and then peaceful villages development. And mostly it's like preventing violent extremism or radicalization in Central Asian countries also. So also you see here that in 2022, we see that in the education sector, EU offered around 32 million euro to the budget support and technical aid. For the digitalization purposes, 12 million euro. And the small and medium entrepreneurship, also European Union is also supporting SME in Kyrgyzstan. You see here also that the more than 700 entrepreneurs in hotel and tourism sectors, they got some consultancy services from the European Union projects and technical assistances for more than 80 social and medium enterprises. Also, we all know about the project BOMCA. It's like border management in Central Asia. And since 2003, more than 60 million euro was offered through this project. To the rule of law also you see, and then climate change and green economy, more than 89 million euro for 20 projects in water supply, energy, waste management in small and medium enterprises. We all know that the EU also is an active supporter of the civil society organizations in Central Asia, supporting or offering some grants for some purposes to advance the civil society organizations and their impact for improving democracy, human rights, and rule of law in Central Asian countries. If we talk about the Erasmus Plus, you see here some also the information, like between 15 and 20, more than 1,000 students, researchers, and staff. So they were participants in the exchange programs. 75 Erasmus plus master degree programs were offered. And it also contributed to the modernization of higher education through the capacity building projects. And of course, this Erasmus Plus project or education is also among the main sectors in the 21-27 strategy. Also, there are the last years we see that the European Union is a very active actor in Central Asia. It's becoming more and more active. European Union as an organization and some other European Union countries like Italy, recently also hold the meeting in the Central Asian countries. So why the European Union is becoming very active, and then there are some extra regional actors like Russia, China, and others. Just after analyzing their views, it's like, first of all, of course, mostly it's about the European Union is very interested in stability and security in Central Asia, since we have common border with Afghanistan, and then some issues also from Afghanistan. Also, the next, it's like European Union is interested in export of minerals from Central Asian country. And of course, European Union wants to somehow lessen their dependence on imports of essential raw materials from China, Turkey, and Democratic Republic of Congo, and diversify these critical resources. Also, European Union is actively seeking an alternative to Russian energy resources, and we all know that some Central Asian countries, they possess huge energy resources like oil and gas. So that's why that European Union is also very interested in this in the cooperation with Central Asian countries. If we talk about the Samarkand summit, it's like the first event between this Central Asia and European Union. And of course, from Kyrgyzstan, Sadyr Japarov, the president of the republic, took part in this Samarkand summit. And then he met with presidents of European Commission and European Council, and he also held some meetings also. And then, of course, Japarov mentioned that Kyrgyzstan also one of the attractive countries. Yes, we all know that among the Central Asian countries, Kyrgyzstan may be the less attractive for the European Union countries, but nowadays Kyrgyzstan also can become the more attractive for European Union. First of all, because Kyrgyzstan is actively developing its renewable energy sector, building a lot of hydropower plants, and Sadyr Japarov also invited some European countries to invest to the development of the renewable energy sector through solar, wind, and hydropower. And also this is about the critical raw materials that Kyrgyzstan possesses, also can be attractive for the European Union partners. So yes, if I sum up, then yes, it's like European Union is becoming, yes, fortunately, because Central Asian countries, we need to diversify regional, extra-regional actors, because since the independence from 1991, most of the Central Asian countries, we hold the multi-vectorial foreign policy that is in our interest, because I'm sure that most of the Central Asian countries, we are not interested to be dependent on one regional or extra-regional actors. So the actively engagement of European Union in Central Asia, it's a very good sign that, yes, we will have a lot of actors, different actors, and we can have some like good partnerships with all these actors. So thank you very much. This is it. I think it's time also, yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nisharapo. It's very interesting, and thank you for once again emphasizing this activization of EU and Central Asia, the focus of the EU in the Central Asia. I think right now we are in this moment of like a very high interest. And I recently back from the Europe, and many European partners right now, they know more about the Central Asia. They tell that now Central Asia is becoming like a part of the a middle corridor. I mean, we are something in between of the powers, between China, Russia, and the Europe. So I believe that this is a positive change, is a positive trend towards, and we will have more closer and more stable relations with the Europe. I want also to emphasize that you have mentioned that Europe is trying to more stabilizing, to having more stabilizing in all the regions, that bringing peace, stability into the region, which all of us, we can benefit from it. And of course, as you said, that EU remains one of the important donors to support development in our region, sustainable development. And I want to emphasize like the great role, particularly in education and academia. And this is actually going to be our next presentation about. I want to bring the next speaker from our university, the Vice Rector on International Relations and Research, Professor Delerjomir Pochoyev, who will be talking about the human capital, education, and mobility, soft power as a strategic tool of the EU in Central Asia. Let me introduce you to the Professor Delerjomir Pochoyev, who is holding PhD in economics from the Financial Academy under the government of the Russian Federation. He has an economic and administrative roles in the different Tajikistan universities. He has coordinated several international projects, including initiated by the World Bank, United Nations Development Program. He was a visiting professor in different European universities, including in Finland, in Spain, in Bulgaria, and in Lithuania. He is an active member of the professional organization and recognized a lot of honors from the local government. He has wrote more than 50 academic papers, mostly focusing in the transition economy, in tax system. He is an active member of this Jean Monnet Module, actually. So I want to give a floor to Professor Delerjomir Pochoyev. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Said Qasim. My presentation is last one. I understand that everybody are tired, so I will try to be quite short. So, distinguished colleagues, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to address you today at this significant gathering focused on development of partnership between European Union and Central Asia. I'd like to speak on the role of human capital, education, and mobility, and how these elements serve as pillars of European Union's soft power strategy in the region. Next slide, please. Next. So, human capital as a foundation for strategic influence. In today's globalized and knowledge-driven world, the most valuable resource of any region considered people, their skills, their knowledge, and their capacity to generate innovation. The European Union has long recognized this reality, and in Central Asia, its strategy increasingly prioritizes the development of human capital as a catalyst for stability, modernization, and regional cooperation. Central Asian countries, rich in cultural heritage and geopolitical importance, are undergoing profound demographic and social transformations. Nearly 50% of the region's population is under 30 years of age. So this youth dividend presents a strategic opportunity for long-term collaboration between the EU and Central Asia. Next, please. Education is where the European Union soft power truly shines. Programs like Erasmus+, Horizon Europe, and Jean Monnet actions have become symbols of trust, mutual learning, and intercultural dialogue. Through Erasmus+, more than 10,000 Central Asian students and academic staff have benefited from mobility and capacity building opportunities in recent years. The European Union supports the modernization of higher education systems in Central Asia by promoting Bologna process standards, curriculum reforms, and quality assurance. Joint research initiatives and twinning programs have improved institutional governance and boosted scientific cooperation. Next, please. Mobility initiatives are a form of public diplomacy. They create long-lasting people-to-people contacts, alumni networks, and professional linkages that enhance mutual understanding and regional integration. Alumni of EU-funded programs often go on to become change makers in their societies as ministers, entrepreneurs, educators, and civil society leaders. Their voices form an informal but powerful layer of influence and cooperation. Next one. Of course, challenges persist. Language barriers, bureaucratic hurdles, and limited recognition of qualification sometimes restrict the full potential of educational cooperation. Moreover, geopolitical competition and disinformation can undermine the European Union's soft power outreach. Next, please. To counter this risk, in my opinion, the European Union should increase investment in digital education infrastructure, expand scholarship quotas, and support for vocational training, not just for academic mobility. The third one, to strengthen alumni networks to serve as multipliers and EU values and policy priorities. And the last one, foster regional educational projects that promote cross-border cooperation within Central Asia with European Union facilitation. Here I just want to add some words about my university and level of internationalization. So I can say with confidence that Institute of Economy and Trade, one of the leaders in the sphere of internationalization of academic process. So for here I showed our international cooperation programs. We are actively working with Erasmus Plus programs, UNICEF programs. In the last 3 years, we activated our cooperation with Chinese universities within framework of Eurasian Chinese Education and Culture Alliances and agricultural universities of the Silk Road Alliances. We have actively working with some Spanish and Croatian universities University of Cordoba, University of Sevilla, etc. We're actively working with University of La Ulla, which is located in Finland, etc. So in framework of this cooperation, we're actively implementing our international mobility programs for our staff and students. Next programs. Next presentation, please. Here I showed some charts. You can see that year by year, the number of students which are engaged in the international mobility program are increasing. Thankful to the Center of International Relations and Global Engagement and their efforts, thankful to Said Qasim and his comment. So we increasing our partnership with European Union universities and trying to increase amount of international mobility programs. Here I underlined some importance of academic mobility. It's, usually it helps us to strengthen our international cooperation. It enhances educational quality. It promotes collaborative research and access to the grants. And of course, academic mobility helps us to support cultural exchange and global competence. In this chart, you can see the number of visits of professors from foreign universities, from our partner universities. And of course, according to this data, we increasing the visits of our experts, foreign experts and professors from our universities of partner universities. Next, please. So, which benefit of mobility programs we should underline? First, it is global perspective and professional growth for students. It's increased competitiveness and international reputation for the institute. And of course, it's foreign language acquisition and multicultural competence. Next, please. Education here can help us as a bridge to create bridge for the trust. So usually we can say that soft power is expressed through knowledge, through values and cooperation with universities. And next, please. In a conclusion, I want to say that the European Union soft power in Central Asia is effectively expressed through its support for human capital development. Education and mobility is not only technical instruments. They help us to create trust, resilience, and partnership in this increasingly multipolar world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Indeed, I mean, the European Union education is probably one of the important tools to promote the European Union values, the European Union innovation, knowledge, and research to the whole world. And indeed, as you mentioned, I mean, today Erasmus Plus is a flagship of education program globally in the whole world. And all of us, we are benefiting from these educational initiatives and other type of the projects. With this, I want to conclude with the speakers, and we are perfectly on time. It's three points, so we have 15 minutes to have a discussion. I don't want to take too much time. I have two main questions for the day. I want to address this question to our all speakers, but I want you to have very brief answers. Please, just 1 minute answer maybe, so anyone can start. So my first question, if anyone wants to just rise, we can have several answers. The first is that as we are talking about the regional integration, so my question is, what can we learn, I mean, from the European Union to build the Central Asian Union? Or do you see anytime soon the integration of Central Asia? maybe we can start with Professor Haydarov, because your topic was very close to the central regional integration. Just your opinion. You are muted.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. It's indeed very interesting. You see, that depends only of the nations of the Central Asian region. No anyone from abroad could assist us to integrate with each other. They can just to assist, not to take decision of our integration. But that is interest of all nations of the Central Asia. Without that, we cannot overcome the challenges of the world. We cannot attract sufficient investment. We cannot to create a common market which will stipulate economical growth and growth of living standards of the region. That's indeed a real necessity to integrate. That's why it's considered on different levels, but how to say? Thank you.
Thank you. I think, you know, you are absolutely right. And I think also, you know, to have a lot of challenges, a common challenges, including some challenges in the environmental issues, you know, the Aral issue, or some other challenges that we have in common. I think in order to face those challenges, we need to be more integrated. I also want to bring Professor Nisharapova. I don't know, I want to just quote the idea of the president, Duparov. He has mentioned about having a common visa in Central Asia, you know, to have, I mean, we have now more stable region, which I believe in the future it will boost a tourism, a regional tourism in a whole Central Asia. So what do you think about this?
Yes, integration of Central Asian countries, this is a big question, and it is, of course, one of my research interests. Last year, I also spoke in the Monnet Conference twice, I think, yes, in Kaznu, in Al-Farabi, and then in Kazakh-German University. And I discussed this question especially. So what we can take from European Union, we can take from them a big lesson. It's about the functionalism, you know, that we can start our integration in very small like areas, like in after the Second World War, European countries, they started from steel and coal, yes. It was the common interest of the two participants, and then some other participants joined also. So also we cannot talk, for instance, because Central Asian countries are not still ready, yes, to be integrated fully. If we talk about the integration, yes, not only cooperation, but integration. But we can start our cooperation in small areas, and then it will conduct to the spillover effect, and it will, of course, attract to other regions, other like spheres of cooperation also. This also cooperation can start not necessarily among the 5 Central Asian countries at the same time, but maybe some countries can start some projects, yes, like, for example, in some like areas like water management, or some maybe education, yes, because we need also to cooperate in education and other spheres, also Central Asian countries. So we can start in the from the spheres of the common interest, some countries, and all other countries will be joining in the future, depending on their interests also. So maybe 5 countries we will be cooperating in education, but maybe 3 countries in water management, yes, or other countries in border management, for example, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan in water and border management. So we can somehow defer this integration. For instance, it is impossible after the long research, I understood that not all the Central Asian countries, we don't want to become politically integrated if we talk about the economic, political, and cultural integration, about the classical integration, yes. So we need maybe some time. But indeed, we can start with the small steps. Of course, the European Union also, it took more than 70, 80 years, yes, to become a one unified union. So for Central Asia also, I think that it will take maybe around 100 years to get fully integrated. But for instance, we can start from the small steps.
Thank you so much. Can we have opinion from Mirpochoyev, Delerjon in this topic from perspective from Tajikistan?
About integration and its effectiveness between countries, mostly on Central Asian countries, I want to underline that effectiveness of integration will increase if these countries have common problems and they are interested to solve these common problems. So I think that we have a lot of common issues, common problems in the sphere of management of water resources, in the sphere of education, in the sphere of logistics, and so this kind of problems can be to solve this kind of problems can be effectively used from European Union's expertise. So that's why I think we can obtain from European Union a lot of knowledge and also practice for solution of this kind of problems. Thank you.
May I say a point of view?
Sure.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your presentation. My name is Firuz Oshimov. I'm a senior lecturer of Social Sciences Department, and I would add something about the integrative process in the Central Asia, as you told us about it. But from my point of view, the stability and peace and also creative process in Central Asia depend on the stability situation in Afghanistan. I think the 5 countries of the Central Asia should have a common relationship to the Afghan government, the great Afghan government, because Tajikistan has a different relation to the Afghan government, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and other countries. And I think the integrated process in the Central Asia, mainly the future will be depend on the situation of Afghanistan and the relationship of Central Asian countries to the Afghan government, to the new Afghan government. Thank you.
Thank you so much. True, that's true, because the security is the first thing to start the integration. I mean, we have mentioned a lot of time the Hujan Declaration that solved a lot of existing problems in the region itself. But of course, the next challenge is how to stabilize the situation in Afghanistan. Yeah, I want to have some views from outside, from the Europe. We have here the representative of the University of Padua, Irene Cagliari. If you want to share some of your thoughts about the Central Asia, we are just witnessing a recent meeting of this format, the Central Asia plus Italy, and the visit of Giorgia Meloni to Kazakhstan, to Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, and this is the first summit of Central Asia plus Italy. And I want to bring that one of the agenda of the day, it was actually in the academia, that we know about the renowned academia sphere in Italy and how the Italian education is well promoted historically, starting with the Bologna process, you know. So Irene, if you are willing to share some of your thoughts about.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Really, we have EICCA 171 with the Technological University of Tajikistan. during this mobility, we have some problem due to the visa and after COVID and so on. Finally, 2 master students from Dushanbe were in Padova. They spent 6 months. In my opinion, for the students, it is very good experience. They could have some problems because the lecture and the exam organizations are different. But I hope that in the near future, in the near future, the process will improve. I was in Dushanbe 2 times. I found a lot of students very interested in coming to Europe. Of course, the main problem is the money, because if they don't have a scholarship, they cannot come. And 6 months, I think, that are good, but not good enough for giving them a good preparation. I think that at least 1 year for master, and also some scholarship for PhD could be fine. The University of Dushanbe is very, very interested in the program. I see 2 people from there. See you.
They are here, yeah.
Okay, they are here. I realized that they are doing a lot of work in improving the English language for students and also for staff, because this is another problem. But I think that step by step we can go on. We have a connection also with the National Academy of Science in Dushanbe for PhD and maybe for some small research project. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to bring another question, which was in the agenda of the president of Tajikistan in this summit with Italy, which we raised, and I want to address this to our national Erasmus coordinator, to Dr. Nakadzode. And one of the main addresses of the leader of the nation, of Emomali Rahmon, was about opening Italian branches, the Italian branch of university in Tajikistan, to foster mobility between the universities of Italy and Tajikistan. How you can comment?
I don't know, because the opening.
I address it to our Erasmus office.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Said Qasim. Thank you to all participants and to all speakers for their brilliant presentations. All presentations were quite interesting, quite comprehensive from the economic point of view, from the political, from all of the corner. Like in your presentation, in Tajikistan also EU delegation, EU cooperation, it's still remarkable in the case of EBRD, in the case of EBRD funding to their transport, to the education from the EU cooperation. And I also wanted to mention about BOMKA projects in Tajikistan. Also, it is going this projects and in education in Tajikistan from the EU cooperation, we have received more than 50 million euro on education. And I think from the all of this integration investment, it's the most better or beautiful one or effective and useful one. It's the soft power of European Union to Central Asia countries, as has mentioned from our colleagues that this soft power can bring the all other perspective to all other sectors. Imagine as that story that they said that don't bring me fish, don't give me fish, just give me how to catch the fish. So from this point of view, I think that the European Union position, integration and investment to Central Asia through the educational pathway, it's the best one because you think in everything that imagine with the Erasmus Plus, this from 21, 27, 500 people from Tajikistan, they had experiences in Erasmus. They go through our mobility, master and PhD. So if all of these Erasmus alumni, they are working in each sectors, in each, not just education, finance, agriculture and all other sectors, they bring, I'm sure, I hope that they bring the resilience, the sustainable growth to our countries. And in this way, of course, it's the best pathway that His Excellency, our President, the leader of the nation, Emomali Rahmon, has noted about the future of human capital on human, and about of cooperation and enhance our cooperation, increasing cooperation with the EU or Italian partners in Tajikistan, the universities. It's the best one. I think we are ready. All universities of Tajikistan are ready, because in if we see to Erasmus project also, more than 27% of our cooperation, it is with Italian universities, with Spain universities, and this is the best initiative, flagship initiatives, and I think all our representatives of our universities are ready to enhance this cooperation, such kind of cooperation with all European countries. Thank you again. And in regional cooperation, I'm glad that in Erasmus also right now it's we see increasing the regional initiatives even in Erasmus from Uzbekistan initiatives, from Aziza, coordinator of Erasmus in Uzbekistan. We did some kind of initiative regional meetings each year, and last year we have been in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent, with this initiatives that how we can enhance the regional cooperation in educational pathway. And in April we have been in Kyrgyzstan also for these initiatives, and the next year we have been in Kazakhstan and Tajikistan. So I'm glad that we are also in this way, and I hope that we are in the best way for our future, for the future of our youth, as I mentioned that 50% of population of this country are youth, for the future, for the brighter future of our kids. Thank you again to all of you from on behalf of the National Erasmus Office in Tajikistan.
Thank you so much. I see we have only 10 minutes left. I want to leave it to open questions, so we have more questions from the participants. I mean, you have raised the last question I wanted to bring. This was about the university integration among the Central Asia. I believe that I hope that we will have more this regional cooperation with the universities of Central Asia. But I just want to put all the time to the questions. Если у вас есть вопросы, можно задавать вопросы на русском, на таджикском, на английском. Пожалуйста, коллеги, у нас есть 10 минут, чтобы обсуждать ваши вопросы. Пожалуйста. If you have any questions, please, we have 5-10 minutes to discuss some questions.
У меня есть вопрос. I have a question. So may I ask a question?
Please, please.
It's question for Mr. Haydarov. As you told us about the regionalization of Central Asia, according to some experts, the Central Asian countries it's not going integrative process, but it's going on. It is the region of interest. How do you think? Is it how correct this opinion? Is it really regions of interest or it is regions of integration? Thank you. Because as you know, the Central Asian countries are rich with mineral resources. And last years, under the format of S5+1, the summits is going on. And more than 10 summits such like S5+1 is going on. And is it really true that it is the regions of interest or regions of integration? How do you think? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the interesting question. I guess that is the most important question we are gathering today to discuss. First of all, I can to refer to Erdanis Gusenov's report. He discusses very interesting this approach and the trends regarding the interest of different regions regarding to the Central Asia. You know, we are not the most strong states in the world. And the different partners considering us from their own interest in politics, you know, there is no friends, there are just interests. Yes. And from the Rome Empire is known the principle of ruling, divide and ruling, isn't? So if consider the interest of different gamers worldwide, their interest to use us, use our resources, mineral, nature resources, labor resources, and they doing that. That's our own interest to defend ourselves, to integrate, and defense could be only if we can to join each other, if we can to integrate.
Yes.
There is no other way. There are no other way to defend ourselves from different challenges. It's not just natural challenges, it's political challenges, it's economical challenges. As I reported, we are not so interesting to foreigners until we are small countries with a population of just 10, 12 million. There will not be successful investments. The investment cannot be recovered. It must be at least 75, 70 million people, and we can to achieve that even only if we can join. And that depends on nations of the region. Political willingness, political will of the nations. Only we ourselves can to solve this problem, whether we are subject or we are object of international affairs. I have no more explanation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your answer.
Если есть еще вопросы, пожалуйста. Если нету вопросов, if there is no question more, I want to conclude with with some ideas of today conference, actually, which is organized in the framework of Jean Monnet Module European Integration Case for the Central Asia. Actually, we came up with this idea in 2022 when we applied for Jean Monnet Module about that our students must learn about the European integration, as might possibly in a near future we will be living in a more integrated region, as a Central Asia will be becoming integration. One of the probably the steps that Tajikistan ourselves we felt when relations with Uzbekistan was restored, when we canceled the visa between Tajikistan and Uzbekistan, and how we are improving the international, bilateral relations between Tajikistan and Uzbekistan, how the trade has developed, how people benefiting from these relations opened, how actually the economy is developing, how we are generating each other's economies is very interesting. Right now we have investment going from Tajikistan to Uzbekistan, same way from Uzbekistan to Tajikistan. So this was an idea of that we must probably, as a role model, we have to learn a lot from the European Union as they built their integration. And we wanted just to study more about the European integration, about the history of European integration, how everything has started. And this was actually the idea. And I think our idea, is the second year we are implementing this project, and the next year is we are completing this project. And at the next year we will have the final conference. I hope that we will be inviting all of you to join us in the final conference. But I want to say that we want to continue with this topic. We want to continue, but in another level. As for now is just the module project, but we already starting to writing a new proposal for Jean Monnet Center of Excellency, which is more bigger project and wider, and which will give us an opportunity to bring more the topic into the institutional level. We want to bring policymakers, we want to bring institutions, we want to bring the public affairs into the topic, so to discuss more about the regional integration. If any one of you interested, we already have some partners from Kyrgyzstan, from Uzbekistan, from Kazakhstan, who would like to join to our proposal about the Center of Excellency in this topic, in the regional integration. So we will be moving forward about this topic in the Jean Monnet Center of Excellency. So I hope that this conference was interesting for all of us. I wanted to share with some of our ideas of the continuation of this Jean Monnet module we are having here, for us it will be like a sustainable path to continue the research, the topic that we are exploring here. So thank you so much for participating. Thank you for all of our speakers. Once again, on behalf of the Institute of Economic and Trade, I want to thank the organization committee. I want to thank the Ministry of Education of Tajikistan. I want to thank National Erasmus Office in Tajikistan. I want to thank European Union delegation in Tajikistan, and I want to thank all our partners from joining us from different universities. I want to thank all the participants from the Tajikistan universities for being with us. Thank you for sharing your information here, and I will be sharing the web pages of our Jean Monnet project here, so you can follow the news of our project, how is going our project, and yeah. So I hope we will stay in touch. I will be sharing my email also, and yeah. If anyone wants to have a final remarks, please, you can have a final remarks. You are open to speak up. Otherwise, we have finished. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Have a
Bye-bye.
nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much.
Bye-bye.
Hello. Thank you.